Hi, I'm Jenny Lynch, and I'm here to talk to you about Saturn in the houses. So Saturn is known as the Lord of Karma because it teaches us lessons. So whatever house Saturn is in, that's what you need to learn most, okay? And put Saturn in the first house, it means that you could be a little reserved, a little cautious. Saturn is not really happy in the first house, but it could make you an authority on a certain subject. Put Saturn in the second house, and we're learning lessons about money. We're also learning how to save it, and we might have some limitations with money. Put Saturn in the third house, and now you're learning the art of communication. It could also be that you have to learn lessons on how to deal with your brothers and sisters or your neighbors. Put Saturn in the fourth house. This is the house of the home and the family. You might be afraid that you won't ever have a home or you'll be homeless. Saturn always is a planet that represents a fear. It doesn't mean that that would happen to you ever, but you're also probably going to live to be quite old because the fourth house is the house of your later years. You're wise toothen. Put Saturn in the fifth house. This is a house of children. It doesn't mean that you won't have them. It just means that if you do have children, they're going to be a big responsibility for you. You'll take your job very seriously. If Saturn is in the sixth house, it could indicate having to work really hard, or it could mean that you actually have some health issues. The sixth house is a house of wellness. When with Saturn there, you might worry about your health. Put Saturn in the seventh house, and that's a house of partnerships. And so you might be afraid to get married, actually. You may delay your marriage. In the eighth house, this is the house of sex, death, and IRS. So we want to be careful when the Saturn's in our eighth house because we could learn lessons about money the hard way. So we want to make sure that we do the right thing in the first place, okay? Saturn in the ninth house. The ninth house rules higher learning and education and travel. It's often the sign that you would be somebody that could be a teacher. Put Saturn in the 10th house. Obviously, you are going to be serious about your career. You'll have lessons to learn about power and the abuse of it, too, so do the right thing. Put Saturn in the 11th house. You may become the leader of a large group or organization. You may also have some difficulties working within groups. It's always a challenge there. And if we have Saturn in the 12th house, well, the 12th house is the unconscious mind, but it's also the things that are hidden. You might have phobias, and you might even have a hard time feeling safe when it's in the 12th house. This is the house of self-undoing, so you must be very aware about that as well. So that's Saturn through the houses.